Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors podcast. The Greenway Outdoors is also an internationally syndicated TV show on Pursuit Channel and Wild TV. You are now tuned into our weekly podcast hosted by executive producer Kyle Green, production coordinator Jeff Hutchinson, director AJ Beadle, and creative producer Ryan Parks. We live in a world where our natural resources are almost solely protected by funds raised by hunters and fishermen. With over 60% of those funds coming from white males over the age of 55, the Greenway Outdoors team has set out on a mission to create content that would inspire millennials, Generation Z, and new sportsmen and women to get out, hunt, fish, and contribute towards conservation and the betterment of our planet. Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jeff.
I'm AJ.
I'm Ryan.
What's up, guys?
Not much.
Good to be here.
This week's episode on Pursuit Channel for the actual television show is the Youth Deer Hunt, featuring my little cousin Ashley, who's 17, so I really got to...
She's basically an adult now.
No, she's not. She's a little princess, and she still walks around the house.
Denial.
Okay, so at 18, do you switch to, and this is my adult cousin Ashley? You can't say big because girls don't like the word big.
Yeah, what am I supposed to say? I'm supposed
Just
to say...
not little?
My little baby, sweet
or
princess
adult.
Ashley is what it is.
Or just your cousin.
Or just your cousin.
That's how I talk about my cousins. I say, oh, this is my cousin.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting deer
This
episode.
is my smoking hot cousin.
What a weird thing to... Wow.
It's especially
What a weird
weird how
thing
you
to say.
explain your cousin.
We got some microphone changes and stuff like that for everything for the podcast this week, and it sounds different in the headphones.
It
And it
does.
sounds way better.
It sounds good.
It sounds really good.
I hope it sounds good
The
on the
technical
outside.
team at New Radio Media is holding it down, but it also is confusing me a little bit because it just sounds different in my headphones. But it sounds awesome.
Why did you guys all take 5 minutes during the podcast to go,
Echo, whoa. But this week's episode is a pretty cool one, and it flows, I think, nicely. There's a lot of stuff going on. We met up with a bunch of kids from a church, and Pete Tomio, our buddy that has a property up north that we hunt on. We're part of a hunt club up there. Took a bunch of the kids up there, did a hunt. Jeff sat with a few different kids, and I think it turned out to be a pretty cool episode. And I hate whitetail episodes. Hate them. I hate whitetail episodes, I hate turkey episodes, and I hate bass episodes because everybody does them, and we don't want to be like anybody else. We're always doing things differently and crazy. I mean, we did python. Who does python? I mean, let's talk about that. But
But you can't take kids on a python episode.
it's frowned on. When you have to take swords where you're going, you can't take kids.
Who brought a sword?
The guy, the Sergeant Colonel MacGyver.
Sergeant Major.
Yeah, Sergeant Major.
Sergeant Master Chief.
Yeah,
Nice.
we just make up titles for him. But he had a sword.
And
now
every time I guessed, he was like,
Yeah.
idiot. And then whatever it was, and then I never remember.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that, though, is Ryan knew the title and would let you struggle.
I didn't know if it was like a military term or if it was something he
It
made
is.
up
It
for
was a
himself.
military
But
thing.
was he in the
Yeah.
military or just
Yeah.
gave himself a title?
Yeah, and that
Currently,
was
he's
his
currently in the
rank.
military.
Oh, currently?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does like training and stuff. He was
Okay.
telling
He was
us
cool.
about it.
I really liked him.
I loved him, and he had a sword, and now I have a
was
sword
pretty
because
funny.
I won one at the Wild Game Dinner we went to, and I've been wearing it around the
sorry.
house, watching
what that
samurai
was?
movies, practicing. I'm ready for war, whatever comes. Old Japan, New Japan, here we are.
Give me an extra in the new Rainbow
Last
movie.
Samurai. You ever seen The Last Samurai?
Oh, I'm like, where are you going? I don't know if that's a racist thing you just said.
No,
Maybe
no,
you
no,
didn't
no,
think
no.
so, but
No. It's from The Last Samurai when they have the swords.
Tom Cruise.
Who
Come
knows?
on, man.
You
Yeah.
mean the movie where Tom Cruise, a white guy, goes and what's the term where they taking our culture or whatever?
Oh, cultural appropriation.
Yeah,
Nice.
I thought it was awesome. This is a good movie.
it's a good movie.
It doesn't sound like you like it.
Also, isn't
I'll let
the main guy that trains him is like a Scottish guy.
Nope.
It's like a weird combo.
Well, I'll let Tom Cruise know, and all the people from his weird religion can now go on our Facebook and
Scientology.
land-based Scientology. If your
members.
religion was made 21 years ago, you should probably not believe in it. But anyhow,
I don't know if that's accurate.
I don't know if it is either. But how long ago was Scientology made?
We don't know.
I think it's old.
Well, L. Ron Hubbard was the guy who invented it.
I think it's 1800.
Invented it. That's-
It was
come on.
passed
I really
down to
do.
him by
I'm
the
spitballing though.
special secret aliens or something. I
Illuminati.
don't remember. But he wrote the book, and it was sometime in the 1900s. I don't know
I
exactly
think it's
when.
just a
but
cult. I think it's
60s
just a
or
cult.
70s maybe.
I think it was he the one that convinced people that he had gone to a spaceship and
Yes.
He had left like 2 people behind to stay.
They made this thing where you hold these
You have to look into it. I think
metal
is what it is.
things, and it tests your. I always want to say metachlorians, but that's from
That's
Star Wars.
Definitely
But
Star
I
Wars.
think from what I understand, it's basically the same concept.
I immediately thought of the things that you'd see at the movie theaters when we were kids. I don't know if they
and it
outlawed.
buzzes you?
Yeah, and you had to hold on to the 2 handles and see how long you could hold on to it. And
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh my God!
Good call.
You felt that?
Yeah,
Wow.
that means there's an
You got
alien.
a lot
in
of the aliens. In it.
There's at least like seven aliens.
7 aliens.
But that does remind me. So
What a weird tangent that we just went down.
You can thank Tom Cruise for
I'm
that.
looking at
Yeah,
the
started with
schedule,
Tom
and
Cruise.
Scientology and Tom Cruise and swords, none of those are on here. But that's okay. Actually, that reminds me of the fact that we were, yesterday at like midnight, because that's when we plan things, we were going through all the episodes for season 4. And AJ, 100% confirmed in August, we are going to Roswell, New Mexico.
No way.
To hunt for antelope, and we're going to
Take
stay there for
us
7 full
to our
days.
leaders.
And the hunt should probably only take 3 or 4, but we're going to be there for 7 because we're going to nerd out. We're going to go to the museums.
That's pretty
We're going to
cool,
look for
actually.
alien spacecrafts.
We will see aliens.
We're going to stay at the Crash Down Motel. We're going to eat at the Crash Down Cafe. We are going to go full tourist. I'm going to get the hat with the little ears and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
like that. It's going to be
We
awesome.
got to do another one of
the
those
foil
pictures.
hats.
Which
like,
ones?
Like the one we did of feeding you to the alligator.
Nice.
But
It'd be
with
like,
aliens?
You'd be
But
like
with
beaming
aliens,
up in the
yeah.
UFO.
I
Hopefully,
want.
there's actually aliens.
I want
Yeah,
to.
too.
If there's not, I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh, we'll be searching at night.
I want to. I know. I will go and do the time lapse with you at night. Finally, AJ.
Yep.
I will be.
Yeah,
I
there
will
you
go
go.
with you.
Right.
Even if Ryan doesn't, I will go.
Nice.
As if
I always
Ryan was
do.
like, I know you do, but I never do. I'm always like, we'll watch Superbad and take a nap.
Or we could sleep. Well, we've always been out for like 18 hours before they're like, all right, we're going to go do this. Okay.
You ever notice when it's time to film the time lapses, AJ gets like a renewed version of like energy and life in him when it's like time to go film time lapses at night. Like he'll be so tired from the hunt all day
That's
long,
his second wind.
Yeah,
and
it
he'll
is.
and he just can't wait to go out at night.
Sitting
though.
in the field.
It doesn't matter. Well, we did that in Miami too. We just went out. We didn't do time lapses, but we just went
You
out.
guys
and
walked like 9 miles.
We did walk.
We got lost and we had to backtrack a long ways.
Yeah, that
It was still
sounds
fun, though.
awful. I fell asleep on an air mattress.
We
that
saw a lot of
deflated.
weird people.
There's some weirdos there.
Yeah.
There were some interesting
There's also
people
some
there.
very
Speaking of
beautiful
weird
people.
things, because I'm going to really try to get us back to where we were supposed to be headed, which
Why?
is not.
We have almost nothing to talk about today.
Yeah, we have a million things to talk about today. First thing is there is a family in Lexington, Michigan
Oh, I thought it was
that
Kentucky.
believes they spot the believes. Yep, nailed it. Believes they spotted a. Well, they don't know what they saw, but they videoed a lynx, is what they think it is. And then
Reportedly.
after being looked at, they believe that cat. Look at that snubby tail. That
Oh, yeah,
cat
look at those
is
ears.
a Canada lynx, which is not supposed to be here. Now, something about a lynx specifically when you watch that video, like specifically lynx,
That's
they
a
got
big
that
cat.
short little stubby tail, which is a
Yeah.
pretty telltale sign that it's a lynx. But those ears, and if you ever seen one like
the
their
ears.
face, dude, there's just something about a critter like that looks back at you that way. Like lynx are weird
Yeah,
looking
I
critters.
didn't know they were still around.
And the first thing I ever think of, and this is super weird, you guys are going to be like, you're a weirdo.
Right.
First thing I ever think of when I
Wait.
hear the word lynx is the fact that Jeff, his first set of golf clubs that he got from his parents when we started golfing was Lynx golf clubs. So that's the first thing I ever think of when I hear the
think of
term
golf
lynx.
clubs?
That's a normal. It's the same word, so that's a normal thing for you to associate it with. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, but to think of your golf clubs when I hear the word, but
The other
That's
day
awesome.
we were at that wild game dinner. We were kind of talking about big cats being in Michigan, and down in Jackson, there's where my dad's from. There was rumors going around that farmers were finding deer in trees.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
from
cougars.
yeah.
Yep.
And I guess
Some
that
type of
Not the good
cat.
kind, the cat ones.
Unfortunately.
a couple people have claimed to have seen them.
There was
But-
I've got a fire pit in my backyard that's 2 stacks of those landscape stones, you know, the ones that are like decorative, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's too high, so it's 12 inches high. And it sat at least 2 times as tall as that. And it was a cat. And it walked by, and the tail was long like this.
Dang.
And we watch it walk by, and I'm like, why don't I have my phone out right now? So I go to get my phone out, and by the time it was already all the way across the yard.
Was it
And
gone?
Didn't you think it was a
It
bobcat?
was very quickly
moving
jogging.
away.
It wasn't running, but it was like,
Trotting.
yeah.
Could have been the Jersey Devil.
I don't know anything about. I don't know a lot about cats. I prefer dogs.
Do you know about the
Always.
Wexford County Dog Man?
No.
That's actually, there's a song about
Werewolf?
it. Yeah, no, there's a Wexford County Dog Man. And my dad told me and my cousin Alex, we were staying up at our cabin in Kalkaska, which was not actually, obviously, in Wexford County, but we were staying up there, and he was telling
Dog
us
Man.
about the Dog Man when we
Dog
were
man
kids.
can travel, so
We were like 10 years old, and we were staying. They had us because the cabin was only so big. There's only so many bedrooms. Him and I had to go like. It was like a secondary living room that was kind of off the main house. That was just a big sunroom surrounded by windows. The whole thing was windows, and me and Alex had to sleep in there by ourselves. We're 10 years old. And our dad tells a story about Wolfman and how he looks in windows. What a
and
monster
then
of a
at 2 in the
human.
morning he comes by and goes,
I saw a werewolf once.
Nice.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And then I shot it, but by the time I got to it, it already turned back into my neighbor's dog.
Oh my God. To be clear, he's kidding. Do not write into us.
That's a reference to a very popular
I
show,
got
The
it.
Office.
Yeah,
I love The Office.
Yeah. Well, then you
want-
should have known the joke.
I
I
didn't.
want pigs in a blanket. In a blanket.
Do you know that one?
You know the chunky guy?
Yeah, I know what
Who wants
that is.
Pigs in a blanket.
Yeah, it
In a
said
blanket?
there was a house party for that episode.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I know what that is. Mm-hmm. Now, the episode this week on Pursuit is again featuring Ashley and some other kids doing some hunting trips, and it kind of got me thinking to taking kids hunting and the expectations that you should have going into that endeavor. And we also filmed an episode this year taking my niece Lily, who's 6 years old, ice fishing, and then Ken, our partner at the Greenway Outdoors, and actually that's a picture of them right there. That's his daughter, Vivian, and we were ice fishing. So we took the 2 6-year-old girls out, and we've taken, as you can see, a bunch of kids out. That picture there is actually my dad skinning a deer with the kids from the youth hunt this season, and that's little Gary that we did a raccoon hunt with and a pheasant hunt with. But the idea is. And that's Brady with his first wood duck. We took him out as well. So we are always taking kids out and teaching kids how to
What's
to
that
hunt.
kid's name?
I have Renard.
I know that he doesn't know.
It was Renard.
Oh, really?
Was it actually?
Renard Goss. We
it
know a
wasn't.
kid that was named Renard Goss in high school, so I just said it was that.
Yeah,
And that's Cheyenne from Hot Shot Outfitters. There's Lily again doing some fishing. But anyhow, the idea is we take a lot of kids out fishing, and taking kids out fishing can be difficult. That was Ashley when she was younger. Look at the size of those sunfish.
We said we were done listing
I
kids.
know, but when I see the pictures, I like the pictures. So we take a lot of kids out. There's Reese with a pike. We take the kids out hunting, fishing. I'll just keep saying the same sentence. There's Rory with a goose.
There's 100
Why
of
don't we
these
just wait till
pictures.
the pictures go and you can just
Yeah.
tell us.
But when you take them out, having expectations that are realistic are important. And in the Greenway Gear checklist this week, it was taken as a joke, but it really wasn't a joke. And that was the fact that on the Greenway Gear checklist for taking a kid out deer hunting, I put on there snacks. And I have to say snacks that way. I can't say it normal. And the reason why I say snacks that way is because and saying snacks in general is because feeding kids and keeping them content and happy while you're in the blind is like the most important thing to make sure they're having a good time. I remember my dad telling me a story about when I first went fishing with him and stuff like that. He said most of the time I was like asking, I want a Twinkie, I want a ho-ho, I want a sandwich, I want more chips, I want this, will you rebait this? I tangled up this line. And it's basically you're just out there catering to the kids' needs that have like almost nothing to do with the hunting and fishing, with the expectation of like making sure that they have a good time.
So what you're saying is you've always been like that.
Nice.
Nothing's changed. That's why I got Jeffrey, because I just needed a
I gotta
built-in.
bring pretzels, and oh my god, I wanna.
Did you bring my protein shake? Where's the energy drinks, bro?
Or last
I'm
night,
crashing hard.
asking for all the snacks from Speedway when Jeff was on his way over.
Snacks. Yeah, I was like, do they have real milkshakes there?
Fine, just give me like some little like a milkshake.
I love those milkshakes.
Those
I
are
can't help
good.
it. I can't help it. The cookies and cream one's good. Night of love. Yeah, the cookies and cream real milkshakes. Shout out, they should start paying us. That'd be cool if they were a sponsor. And I don't want to drink one every day, but I have to. They sponsor us. It's like, I don't really have a choice.
They've got a new breakfast flavor. What?
Cereal?
It's called Syrup and Shame. That's
Nice.
not actually true, but it's pretty fantastic. But taking kids out, making sure that you have the food and the realistic expectations. Jeff, if you had to pick out of all the hunting and fishing trips and stuff that we've done, what would you say would be like the best option to take a kid out on for like the first trip? Too long. Ryan, what you got?
I would say deer obviously is a good one because you can sit in a blind. There's not a whole lot you can like kind of corral the kid as long as you have snacks and keep them entertained and whatever.
Right.
Either that or something on a boat, like bass fishing, bluegill fishing, something with a bobber would be easy. Something where you
like
have
the bobber
a high
fishing.
opportunity or high odds that you're going to get something. So fishing would obviously be better than deer, but I think those are good options.
With bobber fishing, my dad and I always talked about this. I remember another memory as a kid. We would talk about the fact that if you bobber fish all day long, like in the morning, like we'd go from like 7 till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock and then go home, clean the fish and stuff like that. When you'd go to bed at night, you would close your eyes and you would see the bobber in like it's imprinted in your brain.
Yeah.
And it's like so vivid. And like if you bobber fish all day and people tell you the same thing that have done it, him and I both, like, I took it to him one day. He's like, yeah. He's like, you'll see that every single time you go out and spend a couple hours, and especially when it's sunny out, and you'll see the bobber go, you know, like what it does.
That's
when
like
it's going.
when you go morel mushroom hunting too.
You start spotting them?
You start seeing it.
Never mind. Never mind.
You know what? I'm just eating this mushroom. I don't care if it's a morel. No.
Can you see up the skirt?
You know, it's
That's a rule.
Yeah, if you like see up the skirt on a morel, then you're not supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
It's quite the term.
What were you thinking?
That is it. Yeah. Well, yeah, Ryan. What was with the
I don't
eyeballs
know.
over there? Let's keep it clean. We're actually talking about kids hunting and fishing, but morel mushroom hunting. If you have a good spot where there's actually some around, and you're like, no, there's some around. That's another good one to take kids on.
Yeah.
But you want to like scout it ahead of time, know they're there, go back, get the kids, take them out, because if it's meaningless and they don't know if there's going to be any, then it's
They
like
never
an
see one. They're like, this was dumb.
I'd say a good one but an unusual one is going for frogs.
Well, good, because
Okay.
I'm taking Jeff frog hunting when we go to Oklahoma, so that'll be perfect.
I did
Kids
that
love
a lot
frogs.
as a kid.
Yeah.
Frogs, salamanders, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
I didn't eat many salamanders when I was a kid.
I mean, we
but-
didn't eat them. We just
Sure.
caught them.
Okay.
We're like, oh,
Sure.
no way.
Did you ever
I
eat
haven't
one,
seen a
Kyle?
salamander in like 15 years.
You got to roll logs.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
under logs.
What was it? What's the
Probably
other one
since
that's
I
kind of
was
like
a
a
kid.
salamander?
Newt.
Yeah. That.
I think they're bigger, and I've never seen or never caught one, anyways.
It's in the movie Matilda.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, read
It's
a book.
it's in the water. That's a movie. That's not a book.
I've never
Yeah,
seen
it was
Matilda.
also a book.
It was by Roald
No?
Dahl.
I've never seen Matilda.
Wow.
I've seen other people watching it, but it never turned out where I was going to be watching it.
I've watched other people watch the movie in its entirety, but I've never seen it.
No, I just like my sister would have it on, and I'd like walk by, getting a pudding cup or something,
Yep.
and I'd like see that she was
Snack
watching it. Snack pack. You know I like snack packs. Why can't you just give me a snack pack? What hunt
man.
idea do you have, Ryan? Besides the frogs, what do you think would be a good option for kids?
Well, the first rule, it has to be comfortable. Very, very comfortable. So winter is probably not the best time to bring a kid somewhere.
That's probably why the early deer season is in September, so the kids are comfortable.
Maybe.
And they get first crack at the deer.
Yeah. So even deer hunting, I'd say that's probably a little too much because it's easy to, you can go weeks failing deer hunting.
Right.
But I'd say fishing is a good one to start out with.
Yeah.
Just go to the local mill pond. Like if you went to the Fenton Mill Pond,
Yeah.
you'd absolutely catch. I don't care.
Which is about an hour from
Good.
your
I hope
house.
they know where we live.
But
yeah, no, a lot of my first memories are of like fishing and stuff. And
Yeah.
I actually, if you have a shanty with a heater, I think ice fishing's a good one.
Yeah, you can like a t-shirt and you're comfortable.
And Lily and Catherine loved ice fishing.
yeah, they did. That was
So that was that turned out to be a good one. But that was with tip ups
I
and there
didn't
was a
think
grill.
that was gonna go well.
Really?
Well, we're 5 minutes into it, and Lillian goes, "I'm cold." I'm like, "Oh no."
I know. I was
And
a little.
then they lasted the rest of the day without even saying a single thing. Other
Yeah.
than that was the only thing. And she wasn't really complaining. She was just like, "I'm kind of cold."
I think because they had
And
like
it was cold.
they had
It was cold.
It was like no degrees.
Yeah,
0.
I'm pretty sure it was.
But they had access to the heat.
They were in there
Anytime
quite
they
a
wanted.
bit. So was
Yeah.
Ken. But
So it's yeah.
Ken was in there. Yeah.
But they would go in and out. They'd come out running around, and then they'd be like, all right, my hands are cold, and then they go inside for a while. My favorite part, though, was seeing those two little girls when I'd be like, flag, there's a flag up, and like, it's so quick. Within the first flag, it's like a universal understanding of move it. You know what I mean? And you see their little legs running because they're always on the opposite side of the ice wherever the flag went off, and they'd be running, fall,
Every
get back
single
up, run,
time.
fall. Yeah, but just seeing like
They
their
had to bring the
excitement.
scoop with them.
Yeah.
Had to bring it.
Well, they spent most of the day fighting over who got to hold the scoop, which is pretty funny. Philosophical question. This was actually inspired by AJ's, and I kind of customized it a little bit. But if you were to die in an extreme situation, so we're climbing Mount Everest, we're elk hunting in Colorado, we're whatever, and you croaked out there because of like the extreme conditions, we're cut off from civilization, can't get out, whatever it is, we're trapped, we're lost, whatever it is, survival situation, Alaska, moose hunting, or when we go to Arizona and we're cougar hunting. All these things are actually stuff we're really doing, which is a little alarming. But anyhow, it's good that we get this out of the way then. It's like knowing what an old person wants for their funeral. But it's just like that. Would you want, or would you be okay with the people eating you that you're with in order for them to survive? Ryan first.
So I'm already dead.
You're dead.
You're dead.
I mean, I have no
Exactly.
nothing to really
You
say.
dead. Pictures
Do
is
you
a real
consent?
trip.
But if you could pick before you died.
You
I'd
consent
say
before you die?
It all depends on how I'm prepared.
What does that mean?
Okay.
I have to be sautéed. You have to put my meat in milk and let it,
No,
know.
we're in a survival
Oh.
situation. So we're in, for you, we're in Alaska. We're moose hunting. We got separated from everyone. AJ broke his leg. He's walking slow, only holding
Then
us
we would-
down.
I'm the one
We've,
that gets-
we've talked about killing AJ, but we let him live,
waiting
and
for
it
him to
turns out
die.
you get malaria and you die. Go.
No, because then we would get the malaria.
Well, then these
He
are all
falls-
variables. But what's
falls
he
and hits
okay
his
with?
head on a rock and he dies.
Okay,
Okay.
you fall here on a rock.
Yeah, I guess I'd be okay with it. I mean, what else am I have no use for that anymore. My body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd want to be 8.
Yeah, I get. Well,
Would you have like
depends on how you guys treated me that day.
I could see your point though. Like you want to be
Jeffrey's the one that lets you fall.
treated nice. Like you want your meat to go through milk and whatever because you want to be like savored. You want your meat to
Correct,
be
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, honestly, I don't care. I don't care how.
You're cheap pork and you know it.
In real life, I don't care how. Yeah, if you burn me and put me in the vase, I don't care. If you bury me in the ground, I don't care. It
I want
does
a
not matter to
Viking
me.
funeral.
All right, AJ.
I have to say, I mean, I am dead, so whatever happens, happens. But if it is to benefit my peers and they survive, I didn't make it, so I'd want them to make it.
Idiot.
So
I feel like
if-
AJ would taste the best. I feel like Jeffrey would be greasy and Ryan wouldn't have all that much meat. That's what I think.
How would you
with a
taste?
good mango
I'm the age.
habanero rub.
So AJ, if you had to be eaten and you didn't care, how would you want to be prepared?
just eat my legs.
Eat your
Probably
legs.
where you're gonna get the best.
Just the
I
legs.
thought you're gonna get the best cuts from.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that episode of Family Guy where they're stuck on the raft, and all of a sudden he turns around, and the one guy, you can't feel his legs, and he's eating his. You're eating me.
He's like, see, this is
God,
why
I
I
knew
didn't,
you were gonna be like this.
that's why I didn't say anything. I knew you were gonna be like this. Jeffrey, what about you?
I would like to be made into hamburgers.
So you have a preference?
How do we
'Cause
grind you
we'll
up?
put you out of your
How do we
misery
grind
right
you
now.
up?
We'll do it right now.
We'll do it now.
That's up to you. I'm not
You're
doing
dead.
it. I'm dead. I
Okay.
don't care.
If you guys ever eat me, I will come back and haunt you with that. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to be different. No, I don't think I care either. I think my mom would have a real issue with it. You imagine
Yeah.
like coming back and be like, Kyle died.
We ate them.
We ate him. Can you imagine explaiing that to her? I feel like it
You
would
can do open casket. We save the head.
You're holding me by the hair.
You're embalmed.
Oh, that's dark. That's dark.
That's
great.
like,
That is
the
pretty-
Donner Party.
pretty dark.
Yes.
You know,
we,
there,
we went from hunting with kids to this.
I like it.
there is
There's
a
a-
river in India. This reminds me of that. I believe it's India. I'm almost
Somewhere in India.
Almost certain. There's a
Somewhere
river
in Asia.
There's a river Fishau in Asia. Yeah, we'll say that.
There you go.
We'll keep it broad, but I think it's in India where they do burials and well, not burials, but the way that they deal with their dead is their ceremony. That's the word I was looking for. Is they will put the body and they'll prepare it with all kinds of stuff and they'll put spices on it and the colognes and like really
Yeah.
clean it up nice.
Not spices
Really?
for flavor.
Oh, I'm like, what are you talking
It's just
about?
like hit me with some Cajun, yeah. No, like they but those. I mean, that's like those provide scents and stuff. Like they clean the body and everything else.
Okay.
And then they put it out on a wooden raft out into the river, and then they burn it. So it's like they watch it burn, and they're like, that's a ceremony.
It's called a Viking funeral. That's where
I
you
doubt it's called that in Asia.
And then they shoot a flaming arrow, and it comes down and hits your raft and
You've
catches on
watched
fire.
far too much
and
Game
you
of
watch it go
Thrones.
down. Yeah, exactly. That's where it's from. That's how I want to go. So keep that
Okay,
on
well,
record.
Jeff, we're just gonna eat you. We don't have time for all this.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. We're not.
God, we'll do the burger thing, but that's it.
People are at home and are like, these are some dark dudes.
So you have to. In
But
a,
anyhow,
true-
hold on,
in
I
a
wanna
true
finish this.
survival situation, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I want to
do what
finish
you
this
gotta
because
do.
this is really important and it's really cool.
It's really important.
So they will burn the bodies and they'll push it out into the water. Well, because of that, the catfish that are there have gotten accustomed to those fires, meaning body parts are going to fall into the water,
Yeah, eventually.
and you can eat them because they're a source of food, right? They're meat.
Awesome.
So these catfish are getting humongous. We're talking like hundreds of pounds. These catfish are getting huge, and
We
that's
are not going noodling there.
Oh, that's snap your
you
arm
go
right off.
noodling there, and they're like so sure you're food. Noodling is where you like go on a riverbank and you stick your arm in the caves where the fish are, where they've got their nest, and they come out and they bite your hand, and then you fight them by pulling them out with your hands. So that would not be the place to do that.
And on top of that, I once burnt my arm pretty good around a campfire, so I feel like I already kind of taste like what they're used to. I don't want that.
Is that what you want to say? Is it was
Is
a
your
campfire?
slightly burned?
A burnt
It
human
was a
joke.
campfire.
Didn't you burn leaves and do it wrong and explode yourself and burn off your face?
It was in my burn pit, so it's technically a campfire.
I love that. Didn't you do it wrong?
Yeah, well, there's a reason. If you
there's a
lose the
reason-
arm,
I didn't technically do it wrong. There was unfortunate wind, but whatever.
if your face and arm are burned to a crisp,
It wasn't my face. It was just my arm.
That's great.
if your arm is burned, then you did it wrong.
Yep.
It's
But-
like when I was young, my dad asked me to go light the grill, and I wasn't really an expert of the grill yet, so I went inside.
Oh!
I went out there, turned on the gas, and I couldn't get it to light, so I go back inside, and I'm like, I can't get it. So we both go out, and then he lights it, and it's poof right in front of
Oh,
our
yeah.
faces. All the hair on his arms were gone.
My dad.
What are you doing?
My dad did that up north when we were at the place on Lancelot. He did that one time
okay.
and burned his eyelashes off. Yeah. And then my mom just kept asking him, "Are you okay? And are you okay? Are you okay?" And he already said he was okay like 9 times. And finally he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Yep." He'd
gosh.
start to get annoyed.
Oh, yeah.
But it's real funny. My mom's like, "He was annoyed? I only asked him 11 times."
What's wrong? What's wrong? You sound like something's wrong. What's wrong?
Yeah. Are you upset?
Nothing's wrong.
But anyhow, these catfish are growing to immense sizes because they're feasting on humans. Now here's the problem, and here's what they're noticing, is people are claiming fish attacks while they're swimming in the river now.
Wow.
Because the fish get accustomed to eating human body parts, so when they see a foot kicking around,
Yep.
wouldn't it make a whole lot of sense to grab them?
This one's moving. I'm gonna eat this one.
I'm more or less concerned of they know that they dump bodies there. Not dump them, but they know that bodies
Why
will
would you swim
eventually. Why would you swim there?
Because wherever they are,
It's like a
there's like the
religious
only
thing
source
for
of
them.
water.
That's true. That's a
You know?
good point.
So where they get all
it
their
as like a ugh.
That's a good point.
It's where they get all their food too, because they're
Okay.
eating the fish out of there.
Okay.
And so they're fishing there, they're bathing there. If you're burning bodies in the river, it's
That's kind of a sick
not
cycle.
wealthy area.
We're gonna feed our humans to you, and then we'll eat you.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like that's a gross thing, right?
To us, but I mean that's how they live. That's how they
The
survive.
Circle of life.
And that's a dark circle.
Yeah.
Shawitnya, and he like holds up Simba.
Wow.
It's pretty gross.
Lion King reference.
So Ryan
No.
put this episode together for the most part, and he did an awesome job. But he did skip over our tip of the week. So our tip of the week this week will simply be: do not
Skip the tip of the week.
forget to ask your do not forget to ask your friends if they do or do not want to be eaten in a survival situation, especially when you live the life that we do, traveling all over the place. So when we come back,
Great tip. I love it.
we're going to be talking. That's my makeshift tip of the week.
I
When
like
we
it.
come back, we're going to be talking about dangerous animals and statistically dangerous animals. And it might surprise. What did I say?
Animals.
Animals. I almost said animal crackers, and then I was like, that wouldn't be making any sense. I like Aunt Jemima. That's my favorite syrup. I don't even care. I know it's not real syrup.
When we come
and-
back,
Anyhow, when we come back, we're going to be talking about dangerous animals from a statistic standpoint as opposed to just they look scary. Stay tuned. You're a hunter, and because you hunt, you're the world's greatest conservationist. You're a huntervationist. You do more for wildlife and conservation than anyone. The Sportsman Alliance protects hunters from the animal rights movement. When the Sportsman Alliance gets involved in court cases or legislation, hunters win. Conservation wins. Become a Huntervationist today and join the Sportsman Alliance like we did to help protect your rights against the animal rights movement.
Hot Shot Outfitters in Port Hope, Michigan is the destination for whitetail deer, crow, waterfowl, rabbit, predator, and turkey hunts. We have cabins, over 30,000 non-fenced acres, and a passion for delivering fair chase hunts to you and your family. Reserve your hunt at hotshotoutfitters.com today.
When your hands are busy, your mind gets right. When your hands are busy, you can't point fingers and complain that life isn't fair. When your hands are busy, you're serving your family, your friends, and your community. When your hands are busy, you show everyone what you're capable of. The all-new Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year.
Hello and welcome back to episode 16 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. Starting with our social media social media comment of the week, not tip of the week. Actually comes from our friend on Instagram, and it was about the euthanizing of snakes.
Picture.
So yeah, it's from JMan6. I watched the episode and wondered why you caught them before euthanizing them. Why not just do them where they are? They're invasive, and the only way to get rid of them is wholesale removal, which I'm not sure what wholesale removal is, but
I didn't.
Is there
Just
some
like
research
getting rid of them.
reason why they are captured first? Just seems like an unnecessary step of the object is to remove them from the landscape. So, JMan6, I did reply to you on Instagram, but we did get this question quite a bit in other sources as well, email and stuff like that. So, I wanted to address it. The reason why we actually captured these snakes as opposed to just killing them or doing them where they were, as you put it, was because we weren't allowed to use shotguns.
Wholesale removal.
Wholesale removal. We were not. I actually appreciate the question, though, because we did get it from a lot of people. But we could not use a shotgun in that area. And because of the group we were working with, Swamp Apes, we actually had to remove them. And some of them, depending on whether they were male or female, the males had to be brought in alive to the research place that they had, because they tag some of the males and then release them, and then the males will go out and find a female, and where that female is, a bunch of other males will be, and then they'll go they'll kill a bunch of them as opposed to just that one. So that's one reason why we did that. Number two is we couldn't use a shotgun. The only thing we could use was an air rifle where we were specifically. So you're not like trying to snipe out snakes and shooting just the top of their head with an air rifle while they're running away from you. Running away.
It's hard enough
slithering.
to just grab
Yeah, it's
them
hard
when
enough to
they're
grab
running
them.
away from you.
So that being said, it's easier for us to get a hold of them, get them in a bag, and when you get them in the bag, they were remarkably calm. It's like you just flipped a switch and they just shut down.
Yeah.
So once they're in that bag, and even if you saw the third snake that we caught, it went from biting the camera and almost killing Jeffrey to as soon as its head was in the bag, it went limp.
Oh, never mind. It's cozy in here.
Yeah, I did. If this is what I knew they were trying to get me into, I would have just stopped right away. So
Plus, wasn't the only way to euthanize them was the air rifle? I mean, you weren't allowed shotguns.
We weren't allowed shotguns in that area, but if you're on private land or whatever, you're allowed to just go around with a shotgun and just be offing them like nobody's business.
That makes sense.
The funny thing is I feel like we talked about that probably 6, 7, 8 times while we were there, and it's like, oh, that for sure made it in the episode, and then.
Okay, well, AJ, Ryan, and I are sorry that we're not good enough at editing.
No, I'm just.
No, just kidding.
I'm just saying, like, it happened so many times we were there. I was like, no, I watched the episode. It was in there. No? Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't in there. Well, it's just that part. But anyhow, I mean, I put it on the Green Bay Gear checklist that we were using the air rifle, and that was like our means of killing them.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, put them in the bag, they calm down, and then it's really easy just to make sure that the kill is quick and clean because you're using an air rifle point blank right to the head. It's a super powerful air rifle too. But that is actually the reason why we captured the snakes, put them in the bag. The other thing is that air rifle was huge, so lugging that sucker around through like all the trees and brush and stuff that we were going through, I don't even think that wouldn't have been like a feasible thing. Whereas just carrying a bag is like pretty easy. So also like an ease of use and carrying and
efficiency.
Like I said, when you put them in that bag, they just shut down. But I would say I wouldn't argue with the fact that the most efficient tactic would be to go around with a shotgun and kill them as much, that way too.
It's just because of the area we were in, we couldn't.
Right. So hopefully that answers your question. And you keep sending them in week after week because we do enjoy them, even if it's the mean people that we just make fun of. But this was actually a good question.
Why would you send this to me?
Yeah. Now, the next segment I'm actually pretty excited about because I always like learning some new things, and I think I'm going to learn some new things. One thing I know is that supposedly the most dangerous animal on the planet is a hippopotamus. When you say that, people are like, what? But
when they get hungry.
But
Nice.
in the United States...
That's great.
Hungry hippo joke. I like it. But with that being said, the most dangerous animals in the United States, statistically, which ones are most likely to actually kill you versus which ones are real scary and you'd think would be on that list, right?
Before we bring up the picture that shows us all this, what do you guys think?
Well, I
think
know
you
the
know. You
I
know.
know the
We all
answer, so
saw
I'm not
it.
I'm not gonna guess because I know the answer.
Yeah,
Is it
I saw
against
the
humans
picture.
or in general?
To humans. Most deadly animal to humans.
AJ for sure didn't look at it, so he can being honest. So which one? Now remember, it's just statistically. Which animal, AJ, do you think is most likely to kill you? Take everything into account.
Bear.
In the United States, what bear? Black bear.
Black bear. Oh,
Okay.
grizzly.
Grizzly?
Okay.
Okay, so
And
he's got brown.
they're more aggressive.
So AJ's whining in on brown bear. Now I know that's not the answer, but Ryan, go ahead.
You already saw the picture?
Yeah, I already saw it.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll pull it up then. That first picture. So the deadliest is deer.
No way.
Yeah.
Because of car accidents.
Yep.
Oh,
And I've seen this
You
one
don't
says
think of it,
120.
It's a loophole, but it's not statistically. It is the one that'll kill you.
Yeah. We
I
have
want to
to-
keep this picture up for a while that we're talking about it because this one's we'll be tossing to it a lot.
Yeah. So then it goes bees, wasps, hornets.
And that's
at
because
58
of
people.
allergic reactions. You got to how many people are allergic to them? They get stung, they die.
Is that also because it's in your car and you're driving?
Jeffrey will
I've
give
had,
us a
that, I've had that happen before.
Jeffrey's scared of bees, so if it's in the car while he's driving, he'll just kill us
He's
all.
insane. When we were down in Florida, one flew around his head, and I thought it was about to be the end of his world.
Oh, number 3 makes me sad.
Dogs.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't raise a dog right.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's
Yeah.
not the dog's fault.
So yeah, but like we can attribute the other one. We immediately start defending the dogs. The dogs are sweet.
Dogs are great,
Okay,
okay.
I'm glad they killed those people.
They
but-
probably deserved it, okay?
Yeah, but what do you think leads to dogs killing people?
That the dogs just being raised in a
Being scared.
Aggressive.
fight or flight, dog
Yeah.
eat dog world.
Do you think that includes wolves and coyotes or no?
I doubt that.
Good question.
That is
No,
a good question.
Because wolves and coyotes are further down on the list. If you
Say what on cows though? What are they just falling on people?
Probably kicking them or
'em,
something.
Kicking them, which is why horse is right there with them.
Yep.
Because if you're in anywhere behind them and they decide they're gonna kick, because they kick when they're like, what's that behind me? And that can kill people.
But to think like,
Horses can be scary.
when have you ever
Yeah.
seen like the news? Well, the other thing is like a horse can buck you off and you could fall and break your neck and things like
Christopher
that too.
Reeves.
I can see that.
I was
But,
just gonna say R.I.P. Christopher.
but you don't
Reeves.
see
he
that.
did die.
Who did?
Yeah, Superman. Christopher Reeves.
Christopher Reeves.
He fell off a horse and broke his neck and was paralyzed, and then he died a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Now does that? Now that's the other thing
Some
too. Is like
Superman.
injury. Some Superman. Ironically,
So
no. I don't know
superhuman
if you guys
after
read
all.
this. It's insane, but the horse's name was Kryptonite. I'm just kidding. That's so sick. That's not funny. That's dark. But that was
and we're
dark.
sued.
But that being said, like when have you ever watched the news though and be like, the horse kills a guy, and does he count as dying from the horse because
That's a good question.
he was
No, he died from.
I think there was a complication from his.
yeah, but was it
paralysis.
caused by the paralysis from the killing of the horse or from the
Or
kicking
was
of the
it
horse?
then caused from him just being sedentary for?
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Which
like
is
a
a
heart attack or
direct,
something.
which is a direct.
That's more indirect.
In court, if the horse was a human, you would then go back and blame the horse. Like,
Probably.
he died now because of you.
Horse court. Dun dun dun. dun.
Horse court. My
For that
goodness.
Black Widow spider,
Okay.
which is pretty impressive because they're not even in every state.
I got a couple stories about those.
And then it goes.
We're just gonna skip that. He's
What?
gonna say he's got stories about.
No, we can
black
talk about it
widow
later. We can go
spiders.
through the rest right now.
You're just gonna leave that there.
No, I want to hear the story on Black Widow. Did you die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not here,
He
actually.
vanishes, and then Mr. Parks is sitting there, and he goes, "Ryan's been dead for 7 years."
Shotgun left leg.
Shucking.
So
Yeah, we're eating him.
when I was in high school, I spent one of my summers out working in Nebraska, building a golf course, like on a construction crew. Mm-hmm. And out there's a lot of black widows. And there was one porta potty out on this like 400 acres.
Black Widow, baby. Sorry, we were all thinking it. I just wanted to sing the song. Keep going.
There's this one porta potty out on this 400 acres or something like that this golf course was being built on, and that's what people were supposed to use if they had to go to the bathroom, but no one used it because when you go in there and you like lifted up the seat to go pee or whatever, they just scatter out from underneath it.
Scatter?
No way.
To use the word scatter, you're talking about
Yes.
a plentiful amount, not
Yes.
just one that you
No,
can.
no.
You can use your stream to knock off the side into the
A
bowl.
plethora.
You're talking. You're
Yes.
talking.
Like there's a community of them
Really?
under there.
Wow.
Ooh, community. Rough
Yeah.
word for Black Widows.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. And
And they're living in that. Gross.
Yeah, they're dirty Black Widows.
yeah,
Once
see,
their husbands died, they didn't settle well.
No.
you had to be careful what you were reaching in if you're reaching in rocks and stuff like that. It's just weird to have. Like
Wow.
here, we don't really have to worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, like
but,
we barely have anything that can kill you.
I don't know,
Now
there's
imagine
rattlesnakes and
being in
recluse.
Australia.
Where
Yeah,
everything
wants to kill you.
Everything. Oh, look, that's a cute bird. Ah.
Yeah, no matter how cute the girls are there, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's
No.
not worth it.
The girls are cute there too.
I know.
Another
They've
one.
got the
I
accent.
have one more.
Okay.
So we were.
Hope
on-
it's better than that one. No, I'm just kidding. I got him. Got him. Right guy. Yeah. Yeah.
This one was a little more scary, not for me, but it was scary for the people witnessing it. We were down on a mission trip in Georgia with our church.
I did a
and
mission trip in Georgia before.
Mine was cooler.
I hope so. I hope so. The lady we helped was mean, but go ahead.
They're always weird.
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
That's
Guy,
a different conversation.
I'm painting your house. I'm sorry I didn't do a good enough job. But anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's such a weird story. Go ahead, Ryan.
They're down there too in Georgia, and this girl that was with us was she's like really into animals. She's like an animal lover and stuff. And she found a spider, and it was like crawling around on her hairbrush that she was holding.
What?
And they're like looking at it. They're like, she's like holding this black widow, like crawling on her.
Oh my gosh.
Just like she was just why would I don't know,
Why?
it's kind of you had to be there for it.
Spider Woman.
So what did she do?
Yeah,
I
well,
guess she just ended up putting it down, and it was just completely fine.
so she was like a spider whisperer?
I
Yeah, like
guess.
it
I
didn't-
mean,
I really wonder how, like, what leads to them biting. Although if they're killing 7 people a year, they're probably pretty eager to bite.
I
Just
think the number should be
statistically.
higher.
yeah, I thought the number would be higher.
Well, there's a
also.
giant drop off after that,
Big time.
and
All the ones
I
that you
wanna
would
know what-
actually think of that are actually scary.
Yeah.
Kill less than one person a year or less.
What
Yeah.
about what's a cone snail?
Must be a
Poisonous,
I'll look it up.
maybe?
Scary
Must
looking
be.
snail.
Yeah, look that
Probably
look that
those
up.
horns.
I'll look at.
that up, Jamie.
Jamie, look that up.
But bear, alligator, mountain lion, shark. I thought shark would be higher. I really thought shark would be
Ooh.
higher.
Sharks gotta be higher.
They must be in
I don't-
international waters, so it doesn't meet the statistic.
Here.
We,
Yeah, maybe.
we see
I mean,
this-
I hear about we hear about shark attacks, but you don't
Yeah.
always hear about people dying. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. Is like
That's a good point.
efficiency of killing. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What'd you get on the snip?
So, cone snails, cone shells, or cones are common names for a large group of small to large-sized, extremely venomous, predatory sea snails, marine gastropod mollusks. Until fairly recently, over 600 species of cone snails were all classified under one genus.
That's a cool story.
I guess
Wow.
that was a terrible description.
Horrible.
Good job, Ryan. So
I like that.
That's criminal.
I can't believe rattlesnake
You
and
wanna see a picture of
copperhead
it?
aren't
I
higher
do.
too.
We're
You guys wanna see a
going to
picture?
target several of these things, and I'm excited for the fact that we've now seen this. We know that they're not actually that.
That's a good point.
The statistics are that we'll be fine.
Unless we get
So
added.
we'll go in and be like, oh, no, we won't. The statistics are so low, we're going to get attacked. So we're
I
going to
just-
do something stupid.
I just
and
know
we're
I'm
gonna
gonna-
get to be a part of that statistic.
I'm gonna be the .003 guy that gets
limb?
bit by the coral snake.
The limb.
The coral snake was actually one of the venomous snakes in the Everglades. That was one of the, one of the 4.
Oh. Yep.
Yep. And then there was also a rattlesnake that was too.
Do you know what the snake was that was in the river when we went noodling?
No, I don't. All I know.
Ball of snakes that we found?
Those were water moccasins.
Oh.
Yep, those were water moccasins.
Those are poisonous,
but
right?
Oh yeah.
But there was a guy actually where they told us. So we're looking at the ball. They do that when they're mating. They roll up in balls and they're just disgusting critters.
That's a sight.
But there was a guy that actually in Texas where we were in the very river we were accidentally fell into a nest, and they killed him. They all bit him and killed him. I mean, hundreds of. I mean, just.
I think you're thinking of the movie Mud.
No. This is
That's a good movie.
That is a good movie.
I've never seen that.
That's good. Matthew McConaughey.
No, this is actually a true story though.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yikes.
Or
What
they
a
said
way.
that to scare us so we'd stay away from the snakes.
Well, it worked.
No, and then the wolf and coyote. I find it funny that there's so few wolves in the United States, but they
Are able to find someone?
Yeah, they tripled the coyote kill, which still isn't very much, but they're killing people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then coral snake. I'd also be curious to know where this stuff falls too, whereas like how many of them kill your pets? Like how many are dangerous to your pets?
Oh yeah.
Because then there'd be a
That's a
big
good study.
swing. Because not that many pets die from deer, so that would switch.
Yeah.
But like how many die from rattlesnake and stuff like that? Speaking of,
I think that's the
I
road
heard-
in Forrest Gump where he stops running.
I heard this story.
I guess I'll go home now.
Yeah, exactly.
This story of a guy down in South America. I don't know if it was like one of my dad's military friends or what it was, but they're like down there walking through the jungle, and they had like a guide with them who was from the area, and he had a machete and he was clearing brush, and he like reached through the brush to move something away and got bit by a snake. And the guy immediately just put his hand up on a tree and just went wham and just chopped his arm right off.
What?
I'm not kidding.
What?
He got bit by a viper.
I was half
That
listening.
was also in the movie Mud.
No, that is literally in every episode of The Walking Dead. But continue.
No.
Yeah, it is. They get bit by one of the dead people.
A zombie?
And then they cut it. Yeah, they get bit by a zombie, so they cut off the limb because otherwise they'll get the disease. Read a book. But anyhow,
Okay.
so a viper, and he cut his. What? Was there like no way to get back to?
I mean, it's just understood down there that if you get bit by this, it's either you're losing your
Where
limb.
was this?
South America somewhere.
Yeah, medical care isn't.
Somewhere in
yeah.
Argentina, he was on a duck hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to Argentina for a duck hunt.
Wow.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like he was just a local down there, and it's understood that if that happens, you're
I wanna-
chopping that sucker off.
Gonna
We're
be sick
literally
that
going to South
episode.
America.
I love the hesitance or the non-hesitance of he gets bit, gone. Like just.
I mean, yeah, you gotta get rid of before it can start pumping through your
And
body.
he
It's
did it
just
to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
that's the
himself.
savage thing. You gotta understand, like, I'm scared of needles. Can you imagine, like, the prep talk? You guys, you'd have to knock me out and then cut my arm off.
What's
Oh
it?
my
Well,
goodness.
James
God, you
Franco.
would fight us the entire
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
James Franco
I'll
did
be
that
okay.
movie.
I'll be the one that makes it.
You ever seen 127? It's 127 hours.
I believe so.
This is like, are we having
Have you seen it?
For our cross country event, when we're driving 17 hours across for snow goose hunting in the RV, I want to watch these movies, but no, I have not seen it. What movie is
It's
it?
based on a true story. James
good
Franco
movie.
stars in it, and it's about a kind of hiker, expeditionist type person over on the west side of America. Was like in a desert area and got stuck in a crevasse in the rocks, and a rock.
What are you, French?
You mean a crevice? No, a crevasse. Yeah, a crevice.
Anyways, he gets
You gotta be
a rock
scared to
falls
talk.
on his arm, and he's stuck there.
Stuck.
Stuck. Like he's not getting out. He cuts his arm off with a Swiss Army knife.
That's right.
What a long process.
It took
I
him
think it was.
127 hours.
Yeah.
Is that what it took?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
To get out.
I
get
feel
out.
like once I got halfway through.
Nope. You take one cut, you pass out. You wake up, you make one more cut, you pass out.
That's basically.
I meant
what
if I was
happened.
James Franco. No, I just kidding.
That was the whole movie, super boring.
And he a part of it was he had to torque his arm enough to snap his arm to
yeah.
break the bone, because you're
That's
not
right.
cutting through the bone.
Would you eat your own arm?
Not if it was stuck under a rock.
Would you eat your own arm? If you
No.
lost your arm,
I assume it grows back, right?
if you eat it, you gain the power back, so it comes back. But if you're in a survival situation, arm gets knocked off for some reason, Are you eating your own arm?
I can't imagine if your arm came off that it would be a clean enough cut that your arm is not going to be mangled.
But what if it was? Can you humor me? AJ, we'll go to AJ because
So
Ryan's
situational.
fighting me.
What if you carry a sword?
Do you eat your own
yeah,
arm?
because at that point you really can't. Your odds of killing something that you can actually eat go down minus the arm.
At least you know what you're eating.
You know.
That's a good
So
point.
I
Good
think
point.
I might
I
eat
actually
the arm.
wonder if it's like
meat that's available.
if there's some sort of danger to like eating your own meat. Like there is dangers to eating
Oh, yeah,
human
that's a
meat.
good
human
point.
meat, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah, that's
it's only continued. Like,
Yeah.
if you do it over and over and
Yeah.
over and over again.
It's like if you have to like drink your pee over and over in this
Yeah.
survival situation, it gets so like concentrated that it becomes almost.
the nice
poison.
thing is if the arm has trichinosis, you already got it anyway, so you
Yeah,
don't got to worry
that's
about
true.
it.
You think you still deal with the... I think you'd still have symptoms based on what it is.
Huh?
You still have symptoms.
No, I'm saying you're eating your own arm. If your own arm has trichinosis, you already have trichinosis.
Yeah, but
I think
but
you'd
the
you'd almost
it was a
experience...
joke, and I don't know why you're making a whole big
No, I
point
think
out
Kyle's
of it.
But
right.
let's
You'd
talk about the
re-receive
science.
it.
You would still reenact the whole problem because your
Because-
stomach acid would then break down the ones that were in the cyst in your own tissue, then, and then you have to go through the whole process again. You have double it, and you still have the runs and all the pains and all the throwing up and the fevers.
That's right.
And,
So if I have trichinosis, I'm not eating my own arm.
And I do think that there are faults to
but I
eating
hope you
human
guys
meat.
do. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 50-50 on trichinosis as it is. The whole
That's true,
family
we
is.
all
I
are.
barely cooked that bear. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
We're all
you saying?
gambling.
AJ?
I do think there are faults to eating human flesh.
Yeah.
I have read that.
I
According to
you get, like,
most
shaky
cannibal
and-
tribes.
I was thinking about trying it, and
well, what it is because it's the same thing as like when you eat predators. It's like trichinosis. It's like the prions and the stuff that you can get. It's very common that in ancient tribes that would eat on the
Yep.
battlefield, they
Cannibal
would
tribes.
they would eat the dead. That they would often eat the brain, and often in the brain they could pick up different prions and stuff, and diseases would spread because they were all eating each other's brains, and then one person all it takes, and then another person eats it, and then that person gets
Okay.
ate, and then
God, we ate that squirrel brain that one time, and that was like the little teensy beansiest little piece.
that's all I think about.
Can you imagine a whole mouthful of that textureless,
Jeez,
creamy
stop.
meat
mush.
goo?
And not only that, it's
Goo.
human.
That was
I
gross.
don't think you want to
Yeah,
eat
but
human
it was
brain.
like a delicacy. It was like you were gaining their power and knowledge and stuff like that. But the
Yeah.
cannibal tribes would do that on the battlefield.
That's like
and
that
then
was
they,
like the philosophy behind it.
yeah, and they spread so much disease to each other because of it. And there's so much proof of it when they go back and they look at primitive people and they see that the inside the skulls there's all kind of scrape marks and stuff from tools getting the brain out.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Bon appetit. This is like a G-rated, R-rated, G-rated, R-rated, G-rated, R-rated.
Hey, we're taking kids, honey. Hey, you're gonna die, and we're gonna eat you.
Are you going to eat me?
This entire conversation actually reminded me of something. There are I know that in Hawaii and one of the islands and other parts of the world, there's actually still wild cattle. Like cows. Like
What do they-
cows.
What do they live off of?
Grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just eat. They can eat anything.
Grass.
Just
Stupid.
roam-
Read a book.
Just
Stupid.
roaming.
We
roaming the land.
didn't create cows.
Yes, you did.
No,
They were a thing before.
No.
we
well,
came
they're
along.
genetically modified
They
now.
Were, they were oryx.
But anyhow, in these different areas, like people go out and hunt them, but apparently they're extremely aggressive because normally, like the males that we eat are steers, which means they got their nuts taken off when they were young, and that way
Very
that's
appropriate
With
terminology.
with a little rubber band.
that's not even the case. I know that it's not.
Yeah, I
and
don't
I'm
think so.
concerned.
You're telling
I
me
want you to
Not
stop saying it
all
like
the
you know.
time, but that is a
No,
method.
that is
they
a method,
use
but
for
Look at the
castrating
look at the
animals.
size of that thing. Now apparently they're overly aggressive. They're really, really, really tough.
Oh, yeah.
And they're mean. I mean, they're just mean critters. But they're still running around in different areas. But that'd be like pretty cool. Like, yeah, go out hunting. Like, what a mount that is.
That's
And
true.
on top of it,
A
you get
lot.
steak.
yeah.
Do you have a mounted
For
cow?
years.
Yeah, it was a hard
I
hunt.
mean,
It almost killed me.
that's a lot of meat.
Not to mention,
imagine how good that meat would be too.
I don't know. I don't know because here's the thing: if you're eating steers, they do that so there's not a bunch of testosterone flowing through it, and the taste of it and everything like that is because testosterone and hormones. Like
fix 'em?
when you kill a deer, if your deer is riddled with adrenaline because he lived for a long time after, that comes out in the meat.
Okay.
So
Not as good.
So something like that, like a wild cow, it might be a situation where it doesn't taste as good. I don't know this, but it might not taste as good, but the females might still be a lot better. But then it's like deer, though. The males don't taste as good as the females, and the bigger the male, the less good it tastes. And the other thing is, like, how long are they living? Because, like, we raise our cows so fast and then eat them. How long are those wild suckers going around? Like, a deer's lifespan's like 7 years. What's their lifespan? I don't know.
There's
That's true.
if you guys want to see it, there's one more picture about deer, and like.
If you guys want to see it, like, we're gonna say no.
Let's just pull it up.
No.
Well, I mean, just because of the time we have left.
Yeah.
The dangerous animals or deer accident picture 1. I think it is.
Yeah.
It shows like for how fast you're going, what the equivalent of it is that you're hitting.
Yeah.
Like if that. So in the first one, a red deer, if you hit it at 60 kilometers an hour, it's equivalent to hitting an elephant that's just standing there.
I think
This is like a
60 kilometers an hour. What is that?
This is like a PSA
40?
80 miles an hour?
Wouldn't it be like 40 miles per hour?
Oh, yes, it would.
This is a PSA from like New Zealand or Australia or probably Australia because
the deer
A's
that
in the
they're
thing.
using.
With the roe deer, the fallow deer.
But
Red deer.
5 tons if you hit a red deer, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, you figure a giant whitetail, 5 tons. A wild boar, really depends on the wild boar size. I love when they say wild boar. What a ridiculous statement, as if they're all males. You know what I mean?
Oh, good point.
But fallow deer,
Roe
obviously
deer.
a little smaller. I don't even know what a roe deer is, actually.
Little feller.
A little guy.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, 0.8 tons is not cool, but impact,
Wow.
I don't know kilometers to miles per hour, but I got to think that's probably like 40,
I think it is
45.
I think it is.
I know it's less.
Those are the end
Jeez.
results.
Jeez, man, what is that? Was that the actual elephant?
Yeah, right?
Jeez.
That's the hood, that stuff?
That's a
Okay.
cop. Slow
No,
down.
I was trying to figure it out. I can't tell why you can see through the hood. It looks
Right?
like.
I'm bummed that I thought of this just now. And not
That's because,
earlier.
hold on. The hood is flipped upwards,
Yeah, we know.
Yep.
so that's why you can see the engine.
Yeah, we know that. Why can
we
you
said
see the
that.
windshield?
Oh, I have
Also-
no idea. It's a mystery.
Or is that just like a shape on it? I'm bummed I didn't think this beforehand. There's a video that I saw online of a car that hits an elk. And the elk, they hit it so hard. I don't know if they just hit it just right or something, or because it's tall, so they hit it in the leg. It was a moose. But it went
Such a
in the
difference.
air and flipped.
Did
And
it get
it's
back
like-
up?
It looked like a cartoon, though. It didn't look
Yeah.
like physics. There
Yeah.
was a failure in physics, and the thing just went.
Jeez. Imagine a moose. They're so big.
They're
You don't even know how
huge.
big they
They're
are until you
massive.
see them.
I've never seen one.
They're
Well,
insane.
Hopefully our topics kept you entertained, scared, educated, and concerned, because that was our goal this
shocked.
week.
Just-
Or shocked.
In shock, yeah.
But check us out on social media. The Green Outdoors has a Twitter page now, but we're also very active on our Instagram and Facebook pages. We'd love to hear from you, questions you have, and episodes you'd like to hear. Also, check out our brand new website. We've got some new merch coming to you soon. Thank you so much for tuning into the Green Outdoors podcast. Stay green.